I'm at Pontefract Castle, one of the largest castles in England at one point, also known as a Key of the North, or a phrase that was termed anybody who owned Pontefract could control the entire north of England. It's not the fact that this castle itself would have done anything, but I don't know what that looks a bit like, a chapel there, but the fact that you had troops stationed here and they could pretty much ride out anywhere in the country at any time. You could use you'd have supplies here in the town. You'd control the town. The garrison would control the town. Any army going north from here, they could be resupplied, restocked. Something they would need to have if you were heading north. I think Edward I, according to that sign, termed the phrase Key of the North. This castle was heavily in took part heavily in the British Civil War. I call it British Civil War because I know it's called the English Civil War. See how high it is there. Interesting hill over there. There's a little bridge or something. Just out of cannon range, if you've got cannons over there. Yeah, it's called the English Civil War, but it was just England that was involved. Wasn't talking on that bit because it's getting just a bit windy. But yes, England, Scotland, Wales, Ireland, even parts of France, other nations. There were troops that were being used, foreign mercenaries, etc. I know Prince Rupert, one of Charles I's biggest supporters, etc. I don't know whether he was from Germany or that. He's from that area. He had mercenary troops or whatever, cavalry. I mean, if you want to call something a civil war, English Civil War, I mean, the Wars of the Roses to a large part were English civil wars, but they did involve Wales. And the various barons' wars that took place. You can see how high up we are from here. All of these trees wouldn't have been here, they'd have been cut down, so you'd have had a clear field of view all around. Yeah, the anarchy or the Cousins' War between Stephen and Matilda. I mean, that did involve England, parts of Wales, maybe Normandy as well. I mean, they were all French anyway at that point. I don't know what that is, perhaps it's a well, because we are on the kitchen area. Yeah, it's like calling the American War of Independence the American War of Independence, because I don't think they were America at the time. They were just pretty much mostly British colonists. This is quite a big castle. I've seen other castles that are as big. And it is a Motte and Bailey style castle. Don't think that was a gateway, possibly a toilet, but a sally port or a postern gate, but it doesn't look as if it's got a gate on it. And here I am planning on heading back home. This is Thursday. I came out on Monday looking at castles. Monday was nice weather. Tuesday, Wednesday was a bit rainy. And today, when I'm planning on going back, it's bright sunshine. I think this castle was eventually taken by the parliamentarian forces. After the garrison was starved out, I think. Not the best way to ever end a siege. Starving. As you can see, it does cover a large area. And this is free to visit. Belongs to the council. They open the gates down there at 8:30.
She must have been a bit older.
Seem to have a nice little village, little area there. I don't know what that's got in it, shops or whatever. You can see the round towers that they had here. Round towers are much better than square towers. Much harder to I think it's a coffee shop back there. They are much harder to undermine. Undermining is where you would something you used to use in World War I quite often. It's where you dig underneath the foundations, put props to stop it collapsing. Ah, they lead to a well. Elaborate network of tunnels. Interesting. Pity they're not open. Yeah, so you would dig underneath. You would put props to stop it falling, and then you would set fire to it, and the whole lot would come collapsing down. If you ever go to Dover Castle, there is a set of I wonder what's down there. Oh, I think that's that little gate thingy. Yeah, if you go to Dover Castle, going in there. If you go to Dover Castle, there is a mine that I think it was the French. Complicated situation where there was a French king going to sit on the English throne because of King John, but then King John died and the barons went back the other way again. I don't know. Yeah, I know where this is. Yeah, so I think the English troops that were in there countermined, so they basically dug a tunnel that went down into the other tunnel and attacked the miners that were digging the other tunnel, which again is something they did in the famously did in the First World War. One of the most famous sieges at a castle, I suppose, would have been Rochester Castle. That was another one of King John's, that was being held by the Baron, for the barons against King John. He had mine built underneath one of the corners. They put 40 pigs down there, used the fat of the pigs to burn through the props, and the corner tower collapsed, except it was such a sturdily built keep that half one corner came down, which you can see today it's been replaced by a round corner and not a square corner like the other three corners on it, and they simply moved to the other side and locked all the doors, so King John couldn't get in. They did eventually surrender. But there we go, Pontefract Castle. Free to visit. Definitely worth coming to visit.